Alright folks, welcome back. I see folks asking about this every once in a while, so some tips for how to play better, how to win more, for some people how to win at all, just win your first game. And so I wanted to put together a tutorial series targeted at newer players who maybe have less than 100 hours on this game. But maybe there could be in there some little nuggets of wisdom for experienced players as well. Maybe there's some things about the game that I think about in kind of a non-intuitive way. And the way that I want to go about this is I'll do a video series, and in each video we'll focus on one particular build. And I think when you're learning any kind of new strategy game, don't try to learn everything all at once. It takes time, it takes practice, and so maybe a way to get started is to just focus on one build, one path, and try to figure out how to make that work. And then once you're sort of proficient with that, you can branch out and start trying out different things. So we're going to start the series with flushes. A lot of people I see seem to think that flushes are easiest to build, easiest to win with, and so we'll try to make that happen. First, we should start with deck selection. A couple different options here. So we've got the red deck, gives you an extra discard. You start with 3 discards. This gives you a 4th discard. Yellow deck gives you extra money. Something notable about the yellow deck, the extra money that you get is applied to the first round before you go into the shop. And what that means is after you finish the first round, with whatever hand that you need to finish the first round, you get interest on this $10. So actually this $10 becomes $12 before you go into the first shop. And then finally we've got the abandoned deck. So the first 2 decks, they're kind of like your normal 52 card standard deck of playing cards. The abandoned deck has the feature of having no face cards. So what that means is there's 12 face cards, Jack, Queen, and King. So if we have no face cards, the abandoned deck starts out as only 40 cards, which in my opinion makes it the most powerful. Think about it this way. Whatever jokers you have, whatever build you have, at the end of the day, you need to play hands in order to score. And you need to find the hands that you're trying to play in order to score. Maybe you're trying to score with full houses. Okay, well, I need to find my full houses. Maybe you're trying to score with straights. I need to find my straights. Well, if you have a smaller deck, if you have less cards, then you have more consistency. Whatever cards you're looking for, you're going to be able to find them more often. You're going to be able to find them more easily. And so with the abandoned deck, you can very consistently find whatever it is that you're trying to find. Whereas with the other decks, if you have 52 cards, there's a lot of bloat potentially. And if you don't find the hand that you're trying to build, you're trying to build full houses, but you don't find full houses, so you have to play a different hand. And even if you play a straight flush, if it's not supported by the build that you've already established, well, it's worth nothing to you. It would be the same as just playing 2 pair. And so you really need to be able to find the hands that you're trying to play. Let me demonstrate. So we'll go in here, we'll hop in with the abandoned deck, and I'm not going to play this on all the way through. I just want to show you if we have 8 cards in our starting hand. So that's already, we're looking at, this is 20% of the deck right here. And I'm going to just discard. I'm just going to throw everything away. So here, after using my 3 discards, we have 17 cards left in the deck. We can see we've used up 23 of the cards, which means you know, without playing any hands, I can already see more than half of my deck. And so with half of my deck, I can easily find whatever my scoring hand is going to be. I can already, you know, beat whatever round with just one hand. And that's pretty powerful because, you know, extra hands that we didn't play, that's going to give us extra money. And so, you know, this is kind of the utility of the red deck as well. With an extra discard, you get to see more cards. You get to find whatever hand you're looking for more easily. But let's say, you know, the hand that we're looking for is maybe like a 5 of a kind or something like that. It's a straight flush. It's really hard to find. And so maybe I didn't find it using the discards. Well, I can do this too. I can take these 5 cards and just play 5 cards of relative garbage. You know, I'm not expecting to score any points with it. I'm just trying to cycle through more cards. And we ended up getting a lot of aces and tens. I'll play it like this because I don't want to score too many points here for my demonstration. There we go. And then there we go, another hand of garbage. And so the result of this is, if I play 3 hands of 5 cards each, I get to see 15 more cards. So now, with 1 hand remaining, I have seen everything except for 2 cards in my deck. Which means, you know, if there's like a particular hand that I want from my deck and it has to be exactly these 5 cards, I can basically see all of my deck. I can basically get that hand every time without fail. Except for, you know, maybe there is technically this chance of, you know, not seeing these 2 cards. And so you have the benefit also of, with tarot cards, you know, maybe you can use the Hanged Man tarot card, remove 2 cards from the deck, then with only 38 cards, you see all 38 of them. Or maybe with the Death tarot card or some Suit Changer tarot cards, I'm able to get you know, more copies of the cards that I want. And so maybe I don't care if 2 of them are in the bottom 2 cards. I have enough copies that they show up elsewhere in the deck, and you can sort of get this guarantee is what we want. That's sort of the power of the abandoned deck. You never have to worry about not drawing the cards that you want. Well, almost. You know, there is a boss that takes away your discards, and then things get a little bit dicey. But, you know, for the most part, you know, players who complain about, you know, not getting the cards that they want when they want, they're just playing the wrong deck, basically. So let's try this again. Let's do a new run here. And I want to get, let's say, a straight flush, except I want to force it. I want it to be exactly, let's see here, what would be, I don't have any, let's do low hearts. So let's say ace through 5 of hearts. You know, I don't see any of them here. That's the straight flush that I want to go for. So anything that's not ace through 5 of hearts, let's throw it away and see what happens. Okay, 6 is not what I want. 4 hearts, okay. 3 of hearts, ace of hearts. Okay, I've got some garbage to throw away here. I've got, you know, more garbage to throw away here. And now, okay, we hit a little bit of a snag here. We've got 4 cards that we're holding on to, and so we're only able to discard 4 cards. So there's 3 cards left instead of 2 cards left. So, you know, that's another potential issue where if I'm holding on to 4 cards, you know, I have almost the complete hand, but I, you know, still need the 1 more, then I'm not able to discard 5 at a time. Which means, you know, you could run into the situation where there's actually 6 or 7 cards left in the deck that you didn't draw. And that could be kind of an issue. That could be problematic. You know, I'm not going to lie to you. But if you're playing, we said for this video, we're going to focus on flushes. If you're playing flushes, you don't care as much what cards you get. And so, you know, you could have in the bottom, whatever, you know, the bottom 6 or 7 cards, 6 or 7 cards of 1 suit that you're trying to go for, but you could still have plenty of cards of the same suit earlier on in your hand. No problem. Here's that straight flush, by the way. So let's start over. All right, we said we're going to focus on trying to get we're trying to get flushes. For this first round here, we do have this incentive to win in as few hands as possible, and so maybe the way to do that, a way to do that is to get a full house. You could do it with a straight flush, you could do it with four of a kind, but it's easier to get a full house, and even though these other things are worth more, you don't need those extra points. Sort of. With a full house, not every full house will win. You need the total chips from your cards to be 35 or higher. So if you get 35 plus 40, that's going to be 75 times 4 is 300. And so kind of the ballpark that I use is, I want things that are bigger than 7s. That'll do it. Because if I have, 7 times 5 cards on average, that'll be 35. So here, what I'm going to do, I have the pair of 9s, and I want to try to get, another 9 or potentially, 3 of something else. So instead of discarding 5 cards, potentially like this, I'm going to discard just 4 cards. Because I want also, some other match to go with my full house, and the higher cards are going to be more easy for me to make the score that I need. All right, there we go. We did it in one, actually. We've got aces and 10s. Kind of lucky. It's fine if you don't get there. The difference between, winning with the one full house, or potentially you could win with 2 straights or 2 flushes, the difference is just $1. So it's not that big a deal. All right, now that we're in the shop here, we can start talking about jokers. Splash, I personally feel, is pretty weak, especially early on. It gets stronger later on when you have more tarot cards, putting modifications on your cards, and so you can sort of sneak those into the hands that you're making. A lot of the time you're going to have some build that has 5-card hands anyway. You're playing straights or flushes or full houses, and so you get no additional benefit from Splash. Splash is really meant for, if you're playing high card, you can sneak in a bunch of garbage cards that potentially have modifiers on the cards, or you can, add extra cards to your 3 of a kind, for example. Burglar is really strong. Burglar takes away your discards but converts them into hands, which you can use as discards if you want. You could just play hands to throw away cards. The kind of secret utility of the Burglar is, because it turns your discards into hands, then Burglar is also an economy joker. It gives you money. Your hands that are left over are going to give you money. And so maybe I'll go ahead and pick that up. All right, going into the second round here, we didn't pick up anything to help us with our scoring. And so to get 450, we can do some combination of straight, flush, or full house. Not a straight flush, but a straight or a flush. If I get any 2 of those hands, that'll be enough. Or 2 copies of the same hand. So maybe that's what I'm trying to do. And maybe of those, I feel straights are supposed to be not that hard to make, right? If I have 5, 4, 2, ace, I'm just missing the 3. So let's try to make it straight. It didn't get there right away. Let's see here. If we do that, now we could draw either a 3 or an 8. There we go. Okay, we got the 8. And then a flush. If it didn't happen now, it would have happened on the next hand. And then there we go, like I said, we used 4 hands, but we have 3 hands extra from the burglars. We get 3 more dollars than we normally would. Okay, looking at these here, the banana I think is perfectly fine to take early on in the run. Plus 10 mult is very powerful. So, you know, if we look at the hands that we're trying to make here, you know, if I want to make, let's say, a flush, and we said a flush is worth about 300 points starting, or, you know, it's like 280 or something like that. If I go plus 10 on a flush, that's about, you know, 200% more. You know, it's about 3 times as much. Is that true? Yeah, you know, it's a little bit more than 3 times. And then so, you know, if I'm playing a flush that's worth, you know, about 900 points each, I can win the boss in just 1 hand. The next round is 800 chips. I can beat that with just 1 hand. So, you know, very early on, it's very important to pick up, you know, some additive bonus from your jokers. So banana's great. I think the summit is just better. What's cool about the summit to me is, well, 1 plus 15 is a lot. You know, it's plus 15. That's kind of a permanent bonus. You know, it's bigger than the banana. And I don't have to worry about the banana, or don't have to worry about it dying. Also, you can turn it on and off. And so, you know, when you're going through your hands, you can choose when to discard, when to not discard. And then that way, you know, if you have some joker that gives you a benefit for playing hands that are non-scoring hands, you know, 8 ball gives you tarot cards when you play pairs of 8s, then you may want to not score so that you can play more 8s, play more hands. And so the Mystic Summit allows you to sort of toggle it on and off, play hands before you discard it. This combination is also especially powerful. You know, Burglar takes away your discards, and then since I have no discards, every hand now gets the plus 15 bonus. I'm going to take the banana. The correct move is definitely to take the summit, but you know, we're going to see what a more typical playthrough looks like. You know, if I didn't get this lucky, you know, what would I be doing instead? All right, let's see here. I think this might do it. 2 pair. What do we got? 2 pairs. So 2 pairs, 20. Comes 34. 34 times 12. I don't want to do the math. I'm just going to play it. Well, we didn't get there in 1, but we weren't going to get there in 1 anyway. There we go. And so, you know, here at the start, this is something that, you know, it's easy to overlook. You know, once you have any additive multiplicative or mult bonus from your jokers, then it matters less what hands you're trying to play. You know, so if we go in here, you know, a flush is base 4 mult. If I add 10, it becomes 14. 14 is not that much different from if I play 3 of a kind, 13. Or if I play 2 pair. 12 and 14, not that different from each other. So it really doesn't matter what hand you're playing. Except here's going to be the important distinction. The important difference is the chip count, the blue number here. And so in order to score points, you need a mix of both chips and mult. Okay, this, you know this. Okay, it's this number times that number. I need both, and then that'll give me a bigger number. The kind of secret thing in here is when I'm playing straights and flushes, I'm playing 5 cards, so every card is counted. Every card contributes its chips. You know, here in the example, Jack 10, 9, that gives me 10, 10, 9, plus another 8, plus another 7. In comparison to if I'm playing just a pair, you know, I can get the mult bonus and it'll be 12, and that'll be just as good as 14. But if I'm only playing 2 cards, only 2 cards are being counted, then I get much less chips, you know, lower number being multiplied. And so that's why these hands are weaker scoring. Compared to, You know, if I go on the higher end here, straight flush is 4 of a kind. Okay, with a straight flush, it doesn't matter what cards that I play because I automatically get 100 chips anyway. So it's a little bit harder to make a straight flush, but you do get rewarded for making a straight flush. What we're going to try to do is we're trying to make our flushes as powerful or perhaps more powerful than straight flushes, and then even, you know, easier to cobble together. All right, looking at the offerings here, we could take Supernova, and so, you know, this gives you another, like I said, we're going for additive mult bonuses. And so, you know, if I want to, whatever build you're doing, probably you're going to be playing the same hand over and over again and getting synergy for that hand. And so with the Supernova, if I'm going to play lots of flushes, then, you know, I'm going to get this built up. Potentially this does less than you might expect, you know, like, oh, it's infinitely scaling, you know, every time I play a flush it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. Well, you know, how big is it actually going to get? You know, there's only 15 rounds in the game, and if I win each round with, let's say, 2 flushes, or sometimes I'm winning with just 1 flush, then this Supernova is going to be between 20 and 25 flushes that I played. If you're playing more than that, it's because you're scoring not enough points, and you're probably going to lose anyway. This Supernova, yes, it's better. You know, 25 is still, that's plenty of mult. That's bigger than the banana. That's bigger than the summit. But it's not, you know, sort of make or break either. I'm going to pass on the Supernova. You know, I'm acknowledging the Supernova very strong, and, you know, probably you should take it here. I'm just going to say we don't need to take it here. Alrighty. I don't have anything that benefits flushes specifically, so I don't need to play flushes. So let's keep throwing garbage. That was worth 500 points. Cool. I can get almost a straight. Let's just play a pair of 5s. Alright, so now we're at the point where, you know, we've gone through 4, this is round 4, and so we've gotten to see 3 shops or something like that, and we haven't purchased anything. So, you know, just assume that in a normal playthrough, you know, I'm trying to make flushes happen. Well, oh dang, I didn't get any jokers that support me making flushes. So what am I going to do now? Well, okay, you know, one benefit to not buying anything is you can get interest and you can save up your money that way, and you can see with just 1 mult bonus from just 1 joker, I don't really need much more to get through the first, you know, 5 or 4 or 6 rounds. So we're good. We're good with not buying anything, and I think that's important. I think it's important to not buy anything and build up your economy, build up your interest. But now I think we can, you know, if you want, we can start building the build. You know, I promised you flushes, let's do flushes. So how do we make flushes happen? Well, let's crack open an Arcana pack and let's try to see if we can get some support here. So the thing that you want most is suit changers. So for example, the world card is going to turn things into spades. Okay, great. That's the thing that I want. If I have all of my cards are just 1 suit, then every hand is a flush. Easy. Okay. You know, probably I'm not going to get everything into spades, but, you know, I'm hoping to make a lot of spades. And so the question is, well, what cards should I turn into spades? Should I just pick out the biggest cards, which potentially give me the most chips? Should I pick out something else? My suggestion is this. Look for 3 cards of the same suit. And so I'm going to pick out these 3 hearts. So instead of just going for the biggest one here, instead of just picking this 8 of diamonds, I'm going to pick out the 3 hearts. And the reason for that is I want to consolidate. I want to, ideally get all of one suit. Probably not going to happen. Probably what you're going to end up with is mostly 2 suits, and that's going to be good enough. And so I'm looking for the opportunity to delete all of one suit and then convert it into other suits. And so here I'm going to, instead of sort of spreading this out, if I took away one of each, 1 heart, 1 diamond, 1 club, then it becomes that much harder to make all of those flushes, diamond flush and then club flush. But if I take out the hearts, then it becomes, same level of difficulty to make diamonds and clubs flushes. Hearts become a lot harder to make, but now I know those are the cards that I discard every time. And then we're going to save our money because we said we don't need any help with the scoring. This is what you want. What you want is any time in the first 5 rounds or first 4 shops or something like that, any 1 molt bonus. That's all you need. And we've got it. Let's see here. We deleted hearts, so I'm going to discard those. We made some spades. So between these spades and these diamonds, let's go ahead and go for spades. Okay. And then play our spades. There we go. That's the first flush of the run. Is that the first flush of the run? Second flush of the run. Okay. And then this, we only need 100 points, so it doesn't matter what we play. Let's do another 2 pair here. Okay, well this is pretty neat. If y'all want to go for flushes, then 4 fingers, that's gonna make it happen. I can make flushes with less cards. Well then that's gonna make it easier to make flushes. So if I'm trying to build flushes, that's the card that you take. For demonstration purposes, I'm not gonna take it. I'm gonna demonstrate. We can still win even without it. It's an uncommon joker, meaning you're not gonna see it all the time. If you see it, take it. If you don't see it, it's okay. We're still going to survive. So maybe let's do this. Let's open up another Arcana pack. And we get, again, I'll admit, it's kind of lucky. We get another world card. We do have the option for, we could make a steel card, giving us another molt bonus here. If you don't get a molt bonus from your jokers early on, this can potentially be a savior. Or I could take temperance here. Most of the time I want to take temperance because I can get like $15 or $20 from it. I love that. But for the build that we're going for, we want the suit changers. It's lucky that it's a world. It doesn't have to be world. It could have been, some other suit changer is still useful to us. It's useful to have even just focusing on 2 suits instead of just focusing on 1. Okay, again, I want to look for, I already got rid of some hearts, so let's get rid of more hearts. Okay, what's the next thing that I'm going to do? Well, the next thing that I'm going to do is, if I can't get rid of hearts, then what is the next suit? So either clubs or diamonds. It's pretty close between the 2 of those. Marginally, it is possible for you to get the blackboard joker that benefits you to having mostly black cards in your deck. And so I'm going to take away this diamond, take away another red card. Okay, so now we go, we know going forward, okay, if I do see another suit changer, maybe it's clubs, maybe it's diamonds. If it's diamonds, that's not necessarily the worst thing in the world. If I see a diamond suit changer, I can turn hearts into diamonds. It would still be useful to me. But mostly I'm looking for, now it looks like black suits. Either of these will be fine, and the thing that I want to get rid of is the thing that I already have the least of. The ranks of the cards don't matter. It matters in the beginning but it won't matter once we start getting some bonuses to our chips and things like that. I'm going to pick up an egg here. I think it's important to have some kind of, money generation, very useful. And so the egg is going to help us with that. Let's see here. Let's try to make some spades. Discard these. I know for this run it's kind of weird. We got the burglars, so these are not actual discards, but think of this like I'm going to discard these. Hoping to make there's a flush. And now, okay. Let's look. I've drawn 3 hearts and 3 spades, and I've got more spades left than hearts. So let's go ahead and throw these looking for more spades. We didn't get it, but because we have the +10 mult, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and play another 2 pair. Seems to be pretty easy to make. Okay, now we're at the point where with just the 1 flush is worth about 1,000 points, and then now, well, you can't see it. Okay, by the time I get to the next boss, the water boss, this is the Ante-3 boss. Ante-3 boss takes away all your discards, so you better be able to make whatever hand that you're trying to make. You better be able to have enough, let's say, spades in order to find the spades that you need. Or a backup is, okay, if your hand is not super easy to find, you want to have more scoring to make up for it. So the advice that I give to newer players is, if you're losing, figure out where you're losing. What is killing you? And so there's sort of the 3 main things. One is the final boss kills you by you're not able to make enough points. You're not able to make 50,000. If that's the case, probably what's happening is you're managing your money poorly, and so you don't have enough material by the time you get to the end. You don't have enough jokers. You don't have enough planet cards. The other 2 places that players commonly lose is the water boss that's coming up here in Ante-3. It checks your deck by, if you're not able to discard, then you can't, if you're relying on just 1 scoring hand, just 5 specific cards out of your whole deck, okay, it's not going to happen. You need some backup plan. Flushes, often that is the backup plan. Except for us, flushes, we're trying to make, that's the whole build, is what we're going for, flushes. The 3rd place that people lose is the wheel boss, and it presents kind of a similar difficulty, with the cards being dealt sometimes face down. You don't know what the cards are. Then if your hand is looking for a specific card, it could be obscured. It could be face down. You might not know it, that you have it when you have it. But for now, let's focus on how do we beat the water. Well, let's say, I was going through this run and I was just really unlucky. I was really unlucky in the first six rounds, and, my banana died and I didn't get any scoring jokers. Well, now I need to start getting scoring jokers. You can get more Arcana packs and you can get more suit changers, or, even Arcana packs give you some modifications of your cards that can give you bonuses. It doesn't matter how easy your hand is to play if your hand isn't worth any points. And so for flushes, even Steven works. I can make flushes with either even or odd cards, and maybe now I know to focus on the even ones. Zany Joker is not going to help me if I'm going for flushes, which means I need to spend money on rerolls. I'm going to, since I know, the next round coming up, I can probably beat it with even Steven alone. I'm not going to re-roll yet. I'm going to still save my money for interest, but the next round we will re-roll. All right, 2,800. 2,800 I can do with 2 flushes if there's a good amount of even cards. So maybe let's try for that. Great. Let's see here. 10, 10, 8, 2. That's a lot. Even cards with an ace. 1,500. Okay, all I need is one more of those. And I've got 5 hands left to do it. Let's see here. We said with 5 hands, I should be able to see most of my deck. And so maybe I feel fine with... Let's just go for spades again. Do I want to do this? Oh, I got a full house already. I have nothing specifically tying me to flushes, so let's go ahead and, we'll do a full house. And then now we can kind of throw whatever. All right, that was a bit of a struggle. Like I said, oh no, we got unlucky and we only got the 1 scoring joker. So how do we make up for this? I'm going in, I'm gonna need 4,200 points. My 1,000 point flush is not gonna cut anymore. So let's see here. Zany's not gonna help flushes. Mad Joker is not gonna help flushes. If we weren't just trying to force flushes, you could pick up these, and these could be run defining. They could help you build whatever run that you're going for. Misprint could work, and Cartomancer, that's another one of those value generators. Golden Joker gives you money, the egg builds up value for later. Cartomancer is going to give you a tarot card every time, so I feel perfectly fine picking that up. And since I have both Even Steven and Misprint, the threshold is basically about two scoring jokers. So as long as I have 2 scoring jokers, I feel safe. I feel safe going into the boss here. Let's see here. I've got some clubs in hand. Yeah, let's go for clubs. They happen to be even. Didn't get clubs. Try again. Okay. Quick calculation here. Is this going to give me 4,000 points? Probably not. So that means I'm going to save my devil. Okay. We've only got 1 heart left. We removed a lot of hearts, and so maybe we'll throw those away. And we have only 3 clubs left, so I can go ahead and throw those away. Here are our spades. There is a chance that we will get 2,000 points here, depending on what the misprint hits. So maybe it's time to go ahead and do this. We'll use the devil. Okay, I've got 5 spades left in the deck. Let me see him. Oh, I didn't even realize that was a straight. We could have been playing straights this whole time. I play flushes a lot. I play flush houses a lot. I'm kind of blind to straights, to be honest. Okay, now we're going into the water here, and the burglar gives you a pretty good chance of beating the water. The water has the downside of taking away your discards. Burglar says you have no discards anyway, you get extra hands to make up for it. And so, what happens if we don't have the burglar? How do I beat the water now? Well, you just saw here, with the help of extra hands, with the help of discards, I was able to cobble together the score that I needed. This 4,200 here. But that's probably not, these two together is probably not going to cut it for the water. There is a chance that the misprint gives me a big enough bonus, there is a chance that I get enough even cards for my flush that, you know, I'm going to be able to beat the water. But okay, to play it safe here, what does playing it safe look like? Well, these jokers are not going to help me. What about, here we go. Let's pick up the ice cream. You need, I think the minimum is 2 scoring jokers to beat the water. 3 basically locks it up. You know, you can do it with 2, but with 3, it's easy peasy. And so with the help of the ice cream here, not only is it another scoring joker, but it has this extra benefit of it's different from your molt here. And so the way that I think about this is, you know, let's say even Steven gives you about plus 12, and, you know, let's say the misprint gives you on average, let's say plus 10. Okay, so if I go in here and I look at a flush here, so plus 12 and then another plus 10, you know, the first plus 12, that's huge. Plus 12 on top of 4, that's, you know, 5 times what it was before. But then if I add another plus 10 on top of that, well, 26 is only, you know, less than 100% more than 16. And so you get diminishing returns on if I'm just stacking these additive molt bonuses. That's why you want this mix of chips and molt here. Because if I put 100 on the left side, the first one that I add is going to be 3 times as much, or 4 times as much. So we'll do that. And I said I feel relatively safe going into the boss here, but I have extra money. So let's go ahead and do another Arcana pack. We can take either the money or bonus cards. At this point in the run, I'm going to take the money. Very rarely is that incorrect, to just take the money. And then since we have the money, might as well buy a Celestial pack. Celestial pack happens to not have, I wanted to build flushes, so I'm looking for, what is it? I forgot which one it is. I know Saturn is straights. Anyway, if I don't see the one that I want, which one do I take? For me, if I know that I'm forcing a certain build, I'll just skip. If you want to play safe, I would say pick the medium ones. If I pick full house, I might not be able to make a full house, whereas 2 pair, I can easily make not just 1 2 pair, but I can make 2 pair and then 2 pair again. And so as a backup, we'll do that. And then since I have extra money, we can afford an extra reroll or the voucher. All right, going to the boss here, we've got the Fool, which could give us either a tarot card or a planet card. It happens to give us the planet card that we just bought. For that reason is why I often just skip the planet cards if there's not the one that I'm looking for. We'll just have to hold on to this Fool for later. All right, I don't have any discards. I do have some clubs here, and so maybe let's look for a club flush. Like I said, we don't have anything that specifically benefits flushes, so it doesn't have to be a flush, but that's just the mood that I'm in. And you can see here with even just high card, if I have plus 100 chips from the ice cream, if I have plus 20 multiplier from my jokers, it doesn't matter what hand that I play. So actually, I don't need to be going for flushes. I'm guaranteeing you that we'll beat this guy in 4 hands. But there it is. That is how easy / difficult it is to make flushes. All right, now we have lots of money here. We can pick up the grabber, gives us an extra hand. a thing to keep in mind. We said with the burglar, when you have extra hands, that is also extra money. And so sometimes, you know, when you reach the end of a round, when you reach the big blind shop, whatever voucher's there, if you don't buy it, it'll be refreshed after the boss. And so when you reach the big blind, that's the decision, you know, am I going to buy the voucher or not? And so with the grabber voucher, it's worth it. It's worth it even if you have only $10, even if it means you lose all of your interest. You can make that interest back by getting the money from the extra hand. Stencil is one of those multiplicative bonuses. And so, you know, if I'm looking at these jokers here, if I added another additive bonus here, plus 10 and plus 10 and plus 10, well, the first plus 10 or however much it is, that is all of my scoring. Then if I add another plus 10, well, that's 100% more. I have 10 and then another 10. And if I add a third one, well, that's only 50% more. You know, I have 20, and if I add another 10, so I get sort of diminishing returns on those. And so it's really important for you to get these multiplicative bonuses. That's really gonna be what makes your score. So again, you know, if you're playing optimally, that is the move. That's what we take here. I'm gonna pass on this because, you know, it's a rare. So, you know, we want to see what happens if I don't get the rare joker. Can I still make this work? And to make this work, let's go ahead and crack open I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy the Empress, and we've got $28, and my scoring is good, so I'm gonna save interest. Okay, and now we got, you know, some scoring bonuses. Great. So there's a flush, and for the particular jokers that I have, I get a bonus for playing even cards. So maybe I want to prioritize having even cards be the good cards. And so maybe what I'll do is I'll go in here and turn these into mult cards. And maybe this shouldn't be 7,000 points. Great. And let's go for spades. So before we didn't have any discards, but now we can. Let's try to find our spades. Okay, there we go. Now I have the opportunity to turn a card into a steal card. And so, you know, this question of, well, what card do I pick? A steal card, you get a bonus if it stays in your hand. And so often what you'll do is you'll put it on, okay, if I put it on the ace of clubs, well, I'm planning on playing spades. I'm not planning on playing clubs. So if I'm not playing that card, then I can keep that card in my hand, no problem. I actually suggest this instead, which is maybe counterintuitive. I'm going to put it on the three of spades. And so oftentimes with whether it's a steal card or whether it's a gold card, people will run into the situation of, I am holding this card in hand to try to get value out of it. And if I'm holding this card in hand and I'm holding, you know, these three cards in hand, now I'm only discarding 4 at a time, or I'm only discarding 3 at a time, or, you know, whatever. I have a smaller hand size, and it makes it harder for me to find the cards that I need. And so the reason why I chose this 3 of spades is, this is a card I will never discard. This is a card I want to have in my hand. And so, you know, I do the same thing with the gold cards. Put it on a card that I like to have in my hand. I like to keep that card. I hope to not use it. You know, I hope to save it, but I don't mind keeping it. All right, at this stage, you know, regardless of interest or, you know, whatever else you got going on, we're full up on jokers. You know, some of these are money-making jokers, and so we can sell them for scoring jokers later. But once your Joker slots get full, how else can we improve our scoring? Well, we can use Celestial Packs and Planet cards. I didn't get the one that I wanted. I've got, let's see here, 1, 2, 3. I've got Earth, I've got Saturn. Between these, I think Saturn is, again, like an easy backup. This is why you got to start taking Celestial Packs in Ante 4-ish. That's when you want to start taking them, when you have the money, is because you're not guaranteed to get any particular card when you crack them open. There we did the Mega Pack, we got 5 of them, no flushes. And I'm going to go ahead and, let's see here, we have opportunity for either a Steel card or we have High Priestess giving us Planet cards. I'm going to go for the Planet cards. And so, let's see here. Dang. Didn't get the one that I wanted, but we're gonna do this move. We're going to, I'm gonna sell the Mars. Between the two of those, which is easier to make? If I have a bunch of spades, it's gonna be a straight flush, and so maybe that's the one that I want to keep. Or this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into the next round here. And I'm going to hold on to this. I'm going to hold on to this Planet card as long as possible. I don't need this anymore, giving me more hearts. And so the way this works is the game prevents you from being dealt duplicates. So if you have a Joker, you can't get a duplicate Joker in the shop. If you have a Tarot card, you can't get a duplicate Tarot card, Planet card, same thing. And so if I have this Neptune card in hand, now, every time I open a Celestial Pack, if there would have been a Neptune card, it gets skipped, and I get something else instead. And so I'm increasing my chances of getting the card that I want by holding on to the card that I don't want. All right, let's go ahead and look for spades. There's some spades. Let's try that. Our ice cream is melting. Now our flushes are only worth, about 4,000 points each. It's gonna be getting to 3,000 each soon, and we need, for the boss, we need this 14,000. So let's keep that in mind as we're going here. Okay, I need, that should give me another flush here. All evens, that might do it. Could be 6,000. And what do we got left? We've got 2 spades left in the deck. So if I do this, if I play 3 cards, I get to draw my last 3 cards. And so this is, again here, the power of the abandoned deck on display here. Because I have the grabber, because I have the extra hand, we said baseline, you get to see 38 cards. Plus an extra hand, I get to see 100% of my cards. I get to see the gold card every time. I get to see the steel card every time. I get to see if I have, how many spades is it? 16 spades. I know I get to see 16 spades every time. That's 3 flushes every time. Let's see here. We got 43 bucks. That's a good amount of money. So let's go spectral. See what we can get. Here's an interesting proposition. Okay, we could get a rare Joker. It's going to cost us all our money. Even if I had only $10, I think it's not worth it. How much money would be worth it for a rare Joker? What kind of rare Jokers can I get? I don't know, maybe $15 would be appropriate. A lot of times what I see people do is I'm opening a spectral pack. There's a chance I could get a Wraith. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend all my money. And then that way when I get the Wraith, I have already spent all my money. I don't lose anything. Yes, in that scenario, if you do get the Wraith, you do get value. But, you lose all of your interest that you've built up. So actually it costs you more than 0. And so it's fine if you just open it up and don't take the Wraith. You know, $15 for the Wraith, $20 for the Wraith. Could be worth it if you get a blueprint. Could be worth it if you get stencil for flushes. Smeared Joker is pretty good. Let's take Sigil. Maybe. Let's see here. What are the possibilities? I could get, let's say I get, worst case scenario, I get something that's not spades. So right now I'm kind of depending on, I've got 16 spades. That's 3 flushes that I can make with just spades. I'm losing here 2, and so I would have only 14. I would only be able to make 2 spade flushes. But, you know, all of these being the same suit, that should enable me to make, you know, more flushes with those. So I'm going to go ahead and take it. We get clubs. Hey, that's great news. So now we've got, you know, 15 clubs, 14 spades. So we'll do a mix of clubs and spades. And then finally, another Celestial Pack. There we go. We did it. We got the Jupiter. You know, it's been so long since we've seen one. We haven't seen one yet. I forgot what they were called. It's Jupiter. Okay, Jupiter gives us +2 molt and +20 chips. I can also, with this Fool card here, get another one. And since I have the extra money, we can do a reroll. The Fist is good. Some scoring here. Dusk is good too. Dusk is okay. So some things that Dusk does is, you know, if it re-triggers all your cards, you get the chip count for all of those cards. You know, let's go look here. We've got, for flushes, we're getting 75 base with just 2, I already forgot what the planet was called. Whatever, we get, you know, with a level 3 flush, we get 75 chips here, which means, you know, if each of the cards that I'm playing is worth 10 chips each, it's 50 total, and then with Dusk, you double it. Okay, well, that could be decent. We said, you know, there aren't that many Jokers that give you chips, so being able to get chips from Dusk is really important. Also, that's why the planet cards are important, because it's so hard to get chips from Jokers. You need to get chips from the planet cards. Okay, so that could be worth it. What am I going to sell here? I believe this is going to be worth more to me than my rapidly fading ice cream here. Probably the safe thing to do is drop the egg. It's done enough. I don't need any more money, any more value from it, but I'm greedy. So we'll sell the ice cream instead. Also here we've got some options between misprint or fist. I think the fist is better than the misprint, but it's not enough better that I would just sell the misprint to buy the fist. Another thing that the Dusk does is if your cards have card effects on them, like here we've got the +3 molt bonus here, +3 molt bonus here, Dusk will copy those effects. And so maybe that's something to be looking out for. Okay, what do we got? We said we could go for either clubs or spades. Currently, there are more clubs than there are spades. I'm going to go for spades first, just because I have the 8 that I don't want to throw away. I don't know what that is, but if I do this, it could be... Well, what could it be? It's not a spade. If it were a spade, it would show up over here. Okay, it doesn't matter. Here are my spades. Ah, it's a heart. That's what it is. Okay, well I can go ahead and throw that away. I could throw this away. We've got the 2 of spades here. I have 3 clubs and there's more clubs left in the deck, so maybe it's time for me to throw that one away. Alright, this is clubs here, so I can go ahead and play those with the bonus here. We've got more spades that I can play. Maybe I've got a discard. Let's see here. I've got 3 more spades left in the deck. I've got 6 more clubs left in the deck. Yeah, let's do it. Ah, there we go. That's a spade. I don't have a lot of even cards, so this might not be worth very many points. Ooh, +0 from misprint. That stings. Okay. Alright, what do we got left in the tank? We've got 4 cards. They're sort of spread out in suits, so we can only make 1 more club flush. Let's do it. Let's play these. Looking for that last club. Didn't get it, so I have to play the gold card instead. And these are going to trigger twice because of Dusk. Also, if I have Even Steven, that gives me 4 molt per even card. Dusk is going to double that as well. So there we go. We stumbled into some synergy here. The Steven and the Dusk. Alright, so watch this. Alright, screw you, misprint. You gave me a 0. Okay. Did that feel kind of stressful? Did that feel kind of tense? You know, it seemed like, ooh, we barely survived there. That's because, you know, for the most part, I've been kind of goofing around. You know, I've been kind of passing on jokers. Like I said, it's a good joker, but you should take it, but then I don't buy it. And so maybe it's time to settle down. And for the last ante here, we'll just take whatever's offered to us. We'll take what's good. And first thing, what's good is Jupiter. I said before, if you have planet cards, it prevents them from showing up in the Celestial Pack. And so if I open the Celestial Pack, it would not give me a Jupiter. But now that I've bought the Jupiter, now that I've cleared it out, it could, theoretically. I could pick up more Arcana packs. Arcana packs give me, you know, potentially more scoring, you know, like a lucky card that could be good for me. Or I think what's going to be most useful is more planet cards. So, you know, part of why we're not making very many points on this last hand, you know, this last round, we didn't make that many points, is because I sold the ice cream. You know, I was kind of goofing around and I sold the ice cream. And so I need some other way to make chips, and the way that you make chips is with planet cards. And so that's why there with the Fool, to, you know, copy the Jupiter and get more planet cards. That's also, by the way, why I purchased before I opened the Arcana pack, is because Fool, it's only one of 22 possibilities, but because it is a possibility, I want to keep that in mind. And before I open the Celestial pack, because I have the money, I'm going to reroll. Okay. Constellation, that's one of those big multiplicative bonuses. We passed on the stencil earlier. I said the stencil is good, it's worth it. You know, to round out this run here, let's go ahead and pick up the constellation. And we should be good. I wasn't supposed to do that. I was supposed to... Here's Uranus, Pluto, Venus. I don't want any of those. If I re-roll here, Abstract is probably better than the misprint. I'll find something else to replace my misprint with. Emperor is good. Death card, Magician. Okay, those are all good things. I'm actually, now that I have the Constellation, we'll use the Neptune and buy the Empress. I'm just remembering when I opened the Celestial Pack, I should have picked a card for the Constellation, but I didn't. And I feel good about my scoring now, so I'll save my money. All right, now what do we got? What are we looking at here? I've got some cards to discard. We said clubs are the most. We got the most clubs, but I've got the most bonuses on my spades. So I'm going to continue going for spades. At least for now. This is kind of the worst case scenario when you've got 4 and 4 split. There we go. All right, now what do I want to do? How do I want to be using these here? Well, I've got the Empress. Empress is going to give me some enhancements on my cards. I want to make even cards. I want to get to a situation where, you know, even though these are spades, I'm going to throw them away. Not now, but in the future, maybe. And so I don't want to put these bonuses on my odd cards if I don't have to. Maybe what I'll do is, you know, I'll put the Magician on this 10. That's the even one. And I'm going to use the Death to make a copy. Let's copy the Lucky card. On average is going to be better than just a +3. It's not guaranteed, but on average, and then also you get the Dusk, you have extra chances. So go ahead and do that. We'll make a 10, and if possible here, you know, maybe save the 10 until the end to go with my Dusk. Ah, okay. Now, I think we're good on scoring. All right, are we going back to goofing around? All right, here I got some more even cards. Those are the cards that I want to enhance. Yeah, you know, let's try to win this in as few hands as possible. Okay, Wheel of Fortune, you know, not something that you might want to take early because, you know, there is a chance of failure. There's a chance you get nothing, and that's very painful. But now that we have money and it's late in the game, you know, why not? Hierophant could be useful. Like I said, chips are hard to come by, and so plus 20 chips. Underrated, perhaps? Let's see here. Do I want the Celestial? Do I want the Arcana pack? I'm going to reroll first. Death. Cool. And since we don't have that many rounds left, I'm not as concerned about saving money. So let's go Arcana first. Okay, 14 bucks or Lucky card or Glass card. Okay. I'm gonna go Glass, and I'm gonna, you know, potentially tell you why, but let's see here. If I go Glass, what do I want to do? Do I want to make it clubs or spades? I already have, you know, some enhancements on my spades here that I want to be playing, and so let's do more spades to keep it consistent here. Now, do I want 7 or 3 here? Let's go ahead and hit up the 7, just because it's bigger. Alright, so here's the thing about Glass cards. Because I have Dusk, you know, I can get to whatever my last hand is. Then it'll get ×2 from Glass, and then Dusk will give it another ×2. And so that's a total of ×4, which means if my hand would normally be like a 12,000 point hand, ×4, that's going to be 50,000. I beat the final boss, Easy peasy. So, you know, so this is the way that people get these kind of absurd high scores, is with glass cards combined with Dusk. Okay, but let's say I didn't have Dusk, you know, because, you know, maybe I don't have this huge high scoring potential. I still think it's worth it to have a glass card, because then, you know, double is a big deal. Except, here's the thing to keep in mind. The multiplication from the glass happens before any bonuses from your jokers, kinda. So it happens before, you know, this misprint, or if this were a banana, or if this were the Mystic Summit, it happens before that. Or if this were Ride the Bus, it happens before that. And so the only thing it does is it multiplies this number. So this 12 here, double it, that's plus 12. All it does is plus 12, my glass card. Or if I have, you know, Steven here, that gives me, each card is giving me mult bonuses, then I can move the glass card to the end of the line and it will multiply all of those. And so, you know, that's some extra synergy there. Same with these bonus cards that have the plus mult here. This glass will multiply those. Now what does the Celestial Pack have for us? I didn't get the thing that I want, but that's okay. I can just take whatever for my consolation. Good old 1.2 consolation, 20% bonus. All right, now let's do spades. We made all our spades spicy. Okay, good enough. I'm gonna go ahead and use the lovers here. Ideally, you want to get rid of diamonds, but you know, it's close enough between hearts and diamonds. I don't care that much. And so there we go. That's a spade flush. Worth 6,000 points. Okay, keep that in mind. Let's go for, yeah, why not? I got 15 spades in the deck. Let's see here. Yeah, throw those away. All right, here we go. We got all the spades. They're the even ones. They're the bonus ones. And so let's also do this. What do I have left in the deck? I've got 5 clubs and I've got 4 spades. If I can avoid it, I don't want to play this glass card. So yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, that was worth about 7,000 points. Let's go for, I have the 2 10s, I've got the lucky 10s, and I've got a death card. So you know what? Spades again. I've got 3 spades left. I said I don't want to play the glass card. All right, with the last hand here, let's make another 10. And let's also, just to be safe, we'll get some chips. So we should be good. It was close. It was close because, you know, we didn't get lucky. You shouldn't count on getting lucky card. That was Celestial Pack got for us. Ooh, we did get the Jupiter. You know, not that many Jupiters, only 5. So, you know, only level 6 flush. And then, you know, that's why it's only worth times 14 here. Spectre Pack, we could do either of these. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to take this. Not really, you know, counting on it doing anything exciting for me. And then let's see what the final round has for us. Not that many jokers. I mean, we were offered jokers, but you know, we passed on all of them. So let's see here. I can do this. That's gonna be a flush. All of the cards enhanced in some way. Let's go for another. So many clubs in the deck, and we're not even using them. Maybe I don't need the money anymore. Just to be safe. Okay. I've got my lucky 10 here. Let's make another lucky 10. Maybe. Yeah, let's do it. Let's make another lucky 10. And we'll go ahead and with these aces, we'll make them multi cards. There we go. It's a good enough looking flush. What do we got left in the tank? We got 3 spades left. They look good to me. Here we go. We got a 5 left. I don't need the 5. Nice. Alright, to finish it off here, we don't have dusk, so we'll take ice cream instead. That's going to give us, you know, this plus 100 is the same as a times 2 bonus. Almost. It's like times 1.8. It's like 80% if I already have 135 chips. Again, Celestial Pack is going to disappoint us. That's okay. We've got the Constellation now 1.4. And okay, we got some options here. We could get the planets, or we could get the Hanged Man. I want to say in general Hanged Man is going to be better, but because I already have the grabber, because I already know I can play 100% of my deck, I don't actually need to reduce the size of my deck, so we'll go ahead and take the Priestess just because I have the Constellation here. And we should have no problem winning here. We can go ahead and sell the Cartomancer. You know, we can sell the Misprint because it keeps, you know, disappointing me. Let's see here. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to... would you look at that? That's a lot of 10s. Yeah, let's do this. Discard those. Okay, we've got... Let's even make this lucky. And with that, we can win with 3 hands. Or, you know, just 2 hands. We got the glass card. Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Make sure you put it on the right. 41,000 with flushes. It is that relatively straightforward.